Hey mates, and welcome to more MtMtE. I'm your host Blind Prime, and for today we're going to be talking about the vehicle mode for Transformers Studio Series 86 Megatron. Yeah, this is fun. I have been waiting to bring you this video, but before we get into it today, I did want to make a quick announcement. Sorry about the last two videos. I just realized that my camera system wasn't aligned properly. I think Cream or one of my other cats must have messed up the camera stand, and I wasn't doing my due diligence and actually, checking the camera stand before recording. And I thought to check it today, and I realized the camera stand was off center by more than 4 inches. So I am so sorry to everybody for the last two videos. They were off center, and that's my bad. Sorry, blind people problems, and nobody mentions it in the comments. I don't fix it unless I find it. And if I don't see it, then I don't find it. So, thank you all so much for for watching them and things like that. But please, if you see something like that in my videos, I give you full 100 and not 200% permission here to explain to me that I did something wrong with my camera angle. I am blind. I can't see the camera. I need you, my viewers, to actually see the camera. The ones that can, the ones I'm raising awareness for. Please, if you see that I'm out of shot or out of something like that, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll fix it by next video. If it's bad enough, I may even re-record the video I did originally. I just I'm kind of a perfectionist. And it definitely gives me mental duress to understand that I've been doing something wrong for multiple days and my inner voice is screaming, "Ah!" So, if you could help my mental fatigue out, give me some mental relaxation, please. Inform me when I screw something up that I wouldn't have screwed up if I had eyes. I really appreciate that from all of you. Together, we can make this channel amazing. And I always love your participation. It's one of the best parts about this channel, so please participate. Let me know what's going on, and together we can raise awareness for the blind and the visually impaired. Okay, let's get into today's video. I'm Blind Prime. This big fat thing sleeping far off to the side is Cream the Cat. Whew, wow. This is a Transformer. That's definitely what I'm going to start off by saying here, because wow. Okay, Megatron here has got a transformation that I will admit is a little annoying in some places. It is complicated, it is tough, and I love it. I do enjoy me some complicated, tough transformations, but I still haven't figured out these stupid arms and how to get this, how to get the tank top correct. I think I got it correct, but I'm not 100% sure on. I'm at 75% sure when it comes to the transformation for the arms. That's where I've got right now. 75%. I'm not exactly sure if that's the right way, but it kind of feels right. But it also kind of feels wrong. So, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. So, this tank mode it's solid. Okay, it's not as solid as I would like it to be. That's for sure. If you accidentally were to press back here at the rear of the tank too hard, you could pop out the front. That's why I'm kind of holding him at the front by my thumb and forefinger and tightening it there so I can shake him around and stuff and not worry about him falling apart. I do wish that when you got this guy into tank mode, he was in tank mode. And that's something that we don't really get with many of the other tank modes. Warpath is an example of a tank mode that when you get it in tank mode, it's in tank mode. That is a tank mode. I'm forgetting his name, but the guy with the hook for the hand that came out in Siege that became a tank, that was a decent tank mode. Didn't held together as well as Warpath, but it's a good tank mode. And but the Megatron tank mode from Siege, it wasn't a great tank mode that held together. It could fall apart. And this guy holds together very well. Not as good as Warpath, but close, really close. Definitely better than Megatronus, that's for sure. Today we're just going to kind of go into him. So first off and foremost, I'm going to take off his accessory off to the side and make sure that we get that taken care of. So we just take off your little gun on the top too, so we don't have to worry about those guys when we're talking about this. Yeah. So first and foremost, I know all of you love the size comparison parts, and I love bringing you the size comparison parts. So here we go. Here is a size comparison part. We have got 86 Optimus Prime here. 86 Prime. Now we're going to compare 86 Prime to Megatron. They're the same length, just about. And it seems 86 Prime is just a smidge. One Lego stud longer than this Megatron. Now let's flip them on their sides and see which one is the thicker one. Megatron's the thicker boy. Look at that. Megatron is definitely the beefier tank mode. That is a wide tank mode, and I really appreciate the fact we get this Earth tank mode. I'm so done with H-tanks. I was so happy to get the Megatron that wasn't a GD's H-tank. I'm so tired of that shape. Please, give us something else. Give us a G tank. Give us an X tank. You know, come up with some different letters or something. Give me a really creative tank. I really want a cool creative tank, and H-tanks are not creative. Come on. If Halo did it, you know it's not creative. So let's switch. Let's bring Optimus Prime off over here to the side, and let's go ahead and take a look at which one are you? Which one are you? Oh, you're Megatronus. We're gonna save Megatronus. Next one we're gonna look at is Galvatron from Kingdom. Now this is Galvatron's vehicle mode, the siege gun, or the space age siege gun, sci-fi artillery. That's what we'll call him. I'm gonna bring him Megatron all the way to the back, and Galvatron's definitely in vehicle mode taller than Megatron. Galvatron in vehicle mode is longer than Megatron. Galvatron in vehicle mode is a beast of a vehicle mode. Now, width-wise, this is where the difference lies. Now, Galvatron in vehicle mode is a bit wider than Megatron in vehicle mode, but Galvatron's vehicle mode is very spindly, very wacky, very sci-fi. And Megatron's vehicle mode is very solid, very earth-toned. It is just a tank. It is a very good tank, but it's still a tank. And Galvatron's mode is just sci-fi gun explosion. So let's set these guys off to the side, but Kingdom Galvatron definitely wins on being the biggest vehicle mode, and that's kind of, yeah, he kind of wins on everybody. Now, let's bring in Siege Megatron for a little comparison with the Siege guy. Okay, so Siege Megatron here with his feet sticking up the back, which I just have never liked, and I really like the fact that that for 86 Megatron they figured out a way to do that. But Siege Megatron's vehicle mode is longer than 86 Megatron. Siege Megatron's tank barrel is longer than 86 Megatron's. Siege Megatron is wider than 86 Megatron. Siege Megatron does not feel as put together as 86 Megatron. Siege Megatron is very floppy, rattly. The only thing that rattles with 86 Megatron is the caster wheels, but you know, everything rattles with this guy, even his feet. His feet really rattle something fierce. And this is a part, you know what? Little tangent here, but the part of Siege Megatron that I've always hated was the fact that these feet don't fold inwards. I always wanted both of these feet, you know, you cut a piece of that plastic away on each side, and then each of these feet can just fold down, and the bottoms of the feet can connect to each other and create a cool little area there. I can see that happening, and I actually damaged my Siege Megatron when I first got it because I thought these feet actually folded in as a final step to kind of give this, you know, to hide the feet. And that wasn't the case, and I kind of messed up that leg. But I still am amazed that wasn't something they did. It's right there. It is right there for Siege Megatron, for both of these feet to connect together right behind the barrel and make this guy like a lowercase h tank or something. I don't know, but it would be solid back, and then, like, you know, it would have looked cooler, in my opinion. It would have looked better, in my opinion. And I'm always annoyed that they didn't do that step. It's right there. It's right there. But they never did it. So that is Siege Megatron. my little tangent on Siege Megatron. Now let's come over here and talk about the leader class Megatron we have. That is in addition to this 86 Megatron. The only leader class Megatron next to Beast Wars Megatron, which I never got, is Armada Megatron. And Armada Megatron didn't transform right. There it goes. Okay, so Armada Megatron here. We're going to take a look at the back. We're going to put him rear tread, so we're going to ignore the stuff that hangs out above the rear tread. And his front tread is definitely longer than 86 Megatron. Width-wise, Armada Megatron's got it on 86. Weight-wise, in this mode, Armada Megatron is the thicker, heavier boy. It feels like, you know, where Armada Megatron had some problems with weight distribution in robot mode, in vehicle mode, Armada Megatron is very tight. He's very solid. Everything comes together for a big old figure. He is heavier than 86 Megatron, that's for sure. And part of that is the plastic they use. They use some really thick, rubbery plastics on this guy, and it made him heavier. But it also made him feel more Armada-like. Now, 86 Megatron, definitely the lighter guy in this, but when it came to 86 Megatron's transformation, Armada Megatron's transformation, if I was doing the grading system these days, I would give Armada Megatron a B- in his transformation. It is just too simple, it isn't fun in my opinion, and there's not enough going on. I don't like Armada Megatron's transformation. Actually, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, it gets a C+, because I just don't like it. I like the robot mode, I like the vehicle mode, but the transformation to get between them isn't really enjoyable. It's too simple. And that was the nice thing about 86 Megatron here. His transformation is not simple. I gave it an A+. It didn't quite get the S ranking, but it's really good. And that transformation really makes me enjoy this character more. Now, finally, I think... Oh, wait. We still have to do one traditional thing, don't we? Traditional. Look at my channel getting traditions. Where's my Bumblebee? Where's my B at? Here's my B. Okay. Let's bring in the B and take a look at 86 Bumblebee compared to 86 Megatron. So we're going to put 86 Bumblebee all the way out in the back here. And there we go. 86 Bumblebee goes just, wow. That is a big difference. 86 Bumblebee's so small. There's let's see, how many 86 Bumblebees can we fit in front of Megatron here? Is it 2? Is it 2? It's 2. Megatron is 286 Bumblebees long. Megatron is also 286 Bumblebees wide. Are you 286 Bumblebees tall? Let's see. Not quite. 286 Bumblebees are a little taller than Megatron. That's funny. We could have called him Bumblebee Squared. Actually, we can call him Bumblebee Squared, but we can't call him Bumblebee Cubed. So this is 86 Megatron, B squared. Oh, that's fun. So Bumblebee can sit on top of Megatron, and of course Bumblebee can be like, oh god, it's Megatron, and Megatron can be stupid Autobot. Alright, now let's bring in the final size comparison, the one that we all want. The one that I want. Megatron gets to meet his hero. Yes, Megatron and Megatronus together at last. Megatron and Megatronus together at last. This is great. You know, a lot of people, me included, have always wanted to have a Megatron and a Megatronus together. You know, back when I didn't know his name was Megatronus and he was just the Fallen, it was still understood Megatron really liked the Fallen. So this was something cool, and I'm glad that we can finally get these two characters together. Now, if we put them rear to rear, we get that the Fallen Megatronus his tank mode is longer than Megatron's tank mode. Megatronus the Fallen's tank mode is also, if I can figure out how to get around it, because it's so wide. There we go. Let's take a look. Yeah, Megatronus the Fallen's also the wider tank mode. Look at that. Wider. Insanely wide. But when it comes to weight, Megatronus the Fallen and Megatron. Megatron's just... pardon me. That was my coffee. Megatronus is heavier than Megatron. Not by much, but the weight is there. Megatronus is definitely a bit beefier. But once again, Megatron needed to have different weighted plastics because his transformation is incredibly complicated, and there's a lot of moving parts here. Not nearly as moving parts in Megatronus. So Megatronus' transformation is a lot simpler, and that led to it being a heavier figure overall. So we're going to set Megatronus off to the side, and that is the end of our comparisons on size. Let's get into talking about this. And first thing I want to bring up. And this is something that I want to bring up to Evan and Mark and the team at Toriyama. Thank you for the rivets. 2 thumbs up from this blind man to you. Thank you for the rivets. I really appreciate rivets. And this guy has got rivets. And I love rivets. Rivets are just something nice that you can feel with your fingers. And I think it would just be absolute joy if they started hiding Braille in the rivets. Wouldn't that be fun? To spell Megatron's name in rivets across the tank mode, but it's in Braille. I just think that would be kind of neat, you know? That would definitely raise awareness to the blind, but also that would be something fun for people to feel. And you could make it look like rivets. Like right here, we've got a dot, and below that we've got another dot, just that's one space below. And I believe that's actually a Braille character, but I can't remember which Braille character that is, but it's close to a Braille character. Definitely the 2 dots at the top mean it's either a B or a C. I need to refresh myself on Braille. But that is neat. We get these fun little rivets. There's not as many as I would like, but they're still there. They're still there. We still get fun rivets. And that's a joy. That's just a treat for the fingertips. That's just a treat for the tips. Yes, it is. Now, we come down here to the lower end of this tank mode, and we get this tank tread that goes all the way down and around, like I hear rumor, Earth mode Megatron, which I never saw. Never saw it in the wild. I've only seen it online for insane amounts of money back then. I never wanted it because they were like, it's just Siege Megatron, and I'm like, oh well, you know what? If the transformation's not different, I'm not going to get it. And I'm glad I didn't get Earth mode Megatron because this is a better Earth mode Megatron, that's for sure. I'm glad they didn't do science fiction mode Megatron for this. I really just wanted a nice Earth mode Megatron, and this is it. This is quite wonderful. Though I do wish the top of the tank looked a little better and didn't constantly try to untransform itself. Yeah, tank top. Thank you. That arm wanted to pop out of socket again. Okay, so rivets down the side. There's this armor plating that goes down the entire length of this. And this is akin, and I don't know if it's based on the Abrams, but it does seem like it's similar to the Abrams design when it comes to this the skirt pattern going across. And here at the front, we've got the little tank treads. And they go all the way down. The textures go all the way down from the tip of its front all the way to the rear, to the tip of the rear. That's cool. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in there, hidden 8 wheels to control this thing. It's got little 8 wheels going all the way down the length. That's neat. That's a lot of cool detail. I like the little posts in the center of these wheels. That's fun. So that's a really nice side of the tank. And the front of this tank mode, we've got a couple of lights, one on each side, and we've got here in the center, we've got some more armor paneling. We've got rivets, more rivets, yay! And we've got some smooth areas that I do wish had more rivets in them, but we get vents. There's a vent and there's a vent. Yeah, vents. Love me some vents. And ooh, let's make them sing. They don't sing as well. They're not the best vents. Now we come over here to behind the vents area. The armor kind of drops down for a second to get into the area where this spot will rotate. Not this. Not quite yet there. Let's see. Rotate around. Yeah, rotate. All right. We're going to rotate it around to the back so we can take a look at this spot here. And there is some more armor texture going on here. We got 2 little ports there for blast effects or something, or just plugging in your accessories. So he's got 2 siege ports on the front. And then we come over here to the side of the turret. we get a little deep area pit place where that turret can spin. And then behind the turret, we've got this big old blocky zone, which is where the engine compartment would be for a tank like this. And the armor is, of course, larger, the armor is heavier, and you can feel that this is a thicker armor. And of course, this is the front of Megatron's legs, but in this mode, it does feel like it's thicker, chunkier armor for the rear engine compartment and the fuel. And then in the back area, you have these folded, how the feet fold down and stuff. You reveal like kind of inner workings of an engine in there. If you didn't know it, these tanks, at least the Abrams tanks, actually use jet engines to power them. They are incredibly powerful little jet engines in there. And the only thing is they require a lot of coolant and stuff like that, and they need to breathe. So that's what this back area is. It's to allow the engine to vent out all of its, all of its heat, because it can get hot. But everything folds over really well in here to give you this fun kind of rear engine compartment texture. We get like a little piston thing sticking up there and one sticking up there, and they can be like little cooling towers for the inner engine. I like that. There's a lot going on in the rear of this transformer that you can feel with your fingertips, and I really appreciate that. There is an attention to detail on this figure that we've seen in other 86 lines, and that's one of the reasons I'm enjoying this line, is the attention to detail. And I do call them out whenever I come across something that I think is lacking in attention to detail for 86. I did that with Scrapper. I was like, I wanted more rivets on my Scrapper, but I understood. I wasn't getting too many rivets on my Constructicons, even though I wanted rivets on my Constructicons, but that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about Constructicons today. So up here to the top of him, we've got the turret area, and the turret area is made up of, his two arms kind of leaning against each other, holding his fusion cannon in between them. Now, did I transform it right? No, I know I didn't. I know I messed up something here, but the most part is it's got two siege ports. It's got some really great textures coming around here. I like how the little shoulder pauldrons for Megatron's robot mode end up kind of being extenders for the turret canopy area. And I like that that this all just kind of blends together. And of course, if you wanted to take out this fusion cannon and retransform these arms, you can. And I'll show you that real quick because that is something that I did by accident. And I was like, well, this actually kind of looks cool. So we're going to show you real quick. We're just going to fold the arms around and down. What we're doing is getting this stupid, these extra joint pieces to just kind of fold in on themselves. And if you can find that there's one of them that will have a peg sticking out of it, and there's one of them that will have a hole. And if we can get it right, we can actually get those guys to blend together and make a different type of turret. If I just can remember, what are the order of operations here? All right, let's see. Come on. I played with this guy all weekend, and these arms are stiff. They do not want to do anything that you expect them to do. They are just... And you know what? I also like that fact, because, Megatron better have problems with people just moving him around. He better give you some pushback, All right, now we're going to rotate this arm so that the siege port is sticking out to the other side. There we go. And rotate this arm so that... There we go. Nope, not like that. Spin it around. Spin it around. We want that siege port sticking... Yeah, we want that siege port sticking out. We want that siege port sticking out. Come on. There it goes. And there we go. Now, this is kind of the... You don't want to use his fusion cannon. You can do this, and you got a tiny turret for your Megatron. It's not the worst turret, but it definitely is lacking fusion cannon. But I think it kind of gives me Terminator vibes. I can just imagine this thing just kind of going around, and process. I must have screwed something up because he's no longer sitting right. And that is a shame. Oh, well. Happens. It happens with Megatron. You're going to move something around. And that's just going to be the case. But Thank you all so much. This is a lot of fun. This guy is a blast of a figure, and this tank mode is getting an A+ from me. I think this is an excellent tank mode. Does it rank up there with Warpath? No, Warpath is still the winner of tank modes in my opinion. That is just a chef's kiss tank mode. This guy is very close. If his arms were better, if his arms were better, this would be an S-rank tank mode. Because if you take away the turret, everything about this guy is S-rank. But then you get this turret thing, and I just don't like what they did here. So that definitely lost it some points in today's grading. But overall, this has been a great figure. We got an S-ranked robot mode, an A+ transformation, and an A+ vehicle mode. And that gives it 100%. You know, does it get S? No, it needed one more S ranking to get an S, but it definitely gets a 100. It is an A+ figure all around, in my opinion. It definitely exceeds in robot mode, which is everything that we wanted it to do. But in the other modes, it also manages to exceed as well, making this a figure that I highly, highly, highly recommend to everyone out there, no matter what type of Transformers collection you have. This transformation and this Transformer are going to be a part of it, I hope. So, thank you all so much for joining me this week as we have gone over Studio Series 86 Megatron. Until next Prime, bye-bye for now.